you are gonna see some cool ass shit.
Yeah, you don't want two flavor flavors.
Heart transplants, brain surgeries. I've seen it all.
Dude, that's fucking dope.
Walk up and just get it, whatever it is.
Yeah, brother.
I'm trying not to laugh, bro, but Josh is fucking killing me.
Guess what Navy SEALs do, motherfucker? They communicate and they're on the same fucking page.
Whoa.
I haven't thrown a party like that in a while. That was a fun one.
Welcome everybody to the Happy Hoodlums podcast, and do we ever have a hoodlum in the house, baby? So it's Kemp, Zach, and the amazing Emily Ulsh. So a little bit of backstory. Emily is one of the coolest personalities from our film class, for sure. She was meant to be born in the 80s, but God time traveled her up here for the future. She's also a hedgehog mom. I don't know how many.
Not anymore. She passed away.
Oh God, we're gonna start this in the deep.
No, it's good. She's here in spirit.
It got dark quick.
Yeah.
And let me just say, a hilarious comedian. So,
thank you.
Welcome, Emily Ulsh. So, what have you been up to, though?
Oh man. So I've been what I do full time is a freelance photographer. I mainly do weddings and portraits and couples. I've been doing a lot of work in the studio lately. Been doing headshots for small businesses and some lifestyle shoots lately. I've been doing a lot of those, meeting up at coffee shops and taking photos there, and just trying to find my way. I've been doing the photography thing full time for 3 years now, so it's been really cool.
My bad for totally spacing that on the intro.
Oh, you're fine. You're totally fine.
For sure, if you pull up Emily's page, you are undoubtedly going to see some of the most beautiful wedding photography and things like that, and she's been killing it for years. So that's totally on me, and I'm just going to take ownership of it out of the gate.
That's okay.
And you should.
Yes. Zach's also halfway to the gig, so this is perfect. It's been a while since we've had a Stone to the Gills podcast, and no one better to laugh with than you. But that's awesome that you've been staying busy and doing that, because it's cutthroat. I feel like anyone that gets a camera just wants to be like, I'm a photographer now.
Absolutely, yeah. And they don't know all the legwork that goes into it, and posing and lighting and having the right things for it. So I definitely, I feel like my first 5 years of business, I've been doing it for 9 years now, and my first 5 years in business, it was just a dumpster fire, just a shit show, because I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't focused on the things that I should have been focused on when I started. So,
well, what got you into photography so heavy?
So, little backstory. My first year in business, doing photography, I was in class with you guys. So that's fun. A little.
I did not know that you started it then.
I did start it then. So I was doing YouTube for a minute, but I wasn't making any money off of that. And so I was, like you said, one of those people who had a camera and was like, I can be a photographer. And so that's what I did. I was like, because I started college, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to pay for this. So I was like, I have a camera, and I used to take pictures of my friends all the time. And I was just like, why not? And then I didn't really get passionate about it until I want to say a few years ago. I started getting more into it, because it's brought me to some amazing places, and I've got to do a lot of cool things. And so I was like, I should start doing this for real. And then I was working at a bank when I realized I went through like a mental health crisis, and my parents sat me down and they were like, we think you need to be doing your photos full time because that's what like brings you joy. And then yeah, so I've been doing it ever since I had that talk with them. So the next day
Well,
I put in my 2 weeks and now I'm here. So
oh
Fuck
man, there's a
yeah.
lot of things to
yeah.
touch on in that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's a
because
lot.
first of all, so you were hustling to out of pocket pay for school the
I
whole
did.
time?
The whole time I was working 4 jobs and going to class full time. So
Holy shit.
All
yeah,
right.
so nobody knew until I would talk about it all the time in class. Like once I got the internship, I was like, I'm doing 4 jobs and going to class full time. Um, yeah, it was a lot.
And
I'm glad that I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
Emily's had absolute cool kid jobs too. We don't have to touch on
That's what
all of
you're
them.
saying.
But she
Yeah.
legit worked for a toy company and would bring in like different toys during class and stuff.
Yeah. That was fun. That was fun. The toy company was okay, but like saying that I got to work at a toy company, that's like I liked that part of it. And then the
Um,
toys. And then
we
the
were
toys.
we were in a super nerdy class, so like, and I felt like a lot of kids were actually like younger than me, and so
Yeah.
when we were in class, you were the only other person that would make like hilarious dirty jokes and stuff, and I was like, thank
Yeah.
you, I'm not alone. And you
Yeah.
know, years later came the comedy, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on like a what was kind of like growing up like for you, and B,
Oh
was that
man.
like a crazy moment of validation for your parents to sit you down and really like see you and be like, hey, this is not working? Because I know for me, like, I've had some talks like that, but very few of them actually were like at that pivotal point where I needed it.
For sure. For
You know,
sure. Yeah.
it's just kind of like
Um,
asking.
what a loaded question that is.
Yeah, we're going
I
deep.
yeah, what trauma do you want to know? Like I'm joking though. Um, so the first question you had, like, what was growing up like? Like, what do
Mhm.
you want me to touch on
Well,
with that?
whatever's relevant to you that you feel like sharing. I know for
Okay.
me, like, and all comedians, like, comedy itself is survival. Like,
Yeah,
it's a way to
100%.
take pain and like process it in a way that's almost outside of yourself because you're looking at your life like, is this fucking real right now?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Honestly, my childhood was very sad.
yeah,
I just to give context or whatever, my mom, she was really big into drugs, and she wasn't really around. She didn't she just wasn't there. She wasn't present as a mom. And my parents stayed together through all that went on from when I was about 3 years old up until I was 21. And then actually when I was in college, she had a stroke because she had too much plaque in her brain, and we found out she was still using. And then that was kind of the turning point for her to be like, okay, I can either get clean or just like keep rotting my life away. And college was really hard for me because that was when a lot of things were coming into light. When I was in middle school and high school, I was mainly in survival mode. I was never late for classes. Sorry, my computer.
you're good.
Um, but I was very into school, and that's kind of where I was in college too, because I was running away from where I didn't feel loved or whatever. And then my mom finally got clean and she didn't relapse this time, so that was awesome.
Woo.
And yeah, and my parents have always had this mindset of like you need to be doing something with your life. And they kind of instilled that in like me and my siblings. They're like, if you're not going to college, go into the military or find a career. Like you need to be doing something. And that's kind of I knew what I wanted to do ever since I was like 15. So um I didn't need a lot of guidance into that part.
Where
But
where'd that
yeah.
spark come at 15?
Man, so I would make a lot of like little videos with like it started out like when I was younger, I would like do videos with my dolls and stuff like that and make little videos of them. And then I started like YouTube became a thing in like 2005, 2006. And then I was like on that all the time. Um, just making, creating, posting, talking with other people. And when I got into high school, my second semester, I took a video class and I was so excited, like, because I loved making videos. I just loved doing it. And my teacher, he was basically like, hey, you're really good at this. You need to consider like pursuing this as a thing. And so he was like my big that teacher was my big deciding factor of like what I wanted to do. So, and he told me to go to Mount Hood and like go to college there and stuff like that. And he's been super supportive since the very beginning. So, yeah.
That's
That is
awesome.
super dope.
Thank
And
you. Yeah.
part of why I like to ask, the beginning is because the whole supposed to be thing, I feel like people talk about toxic. I don't really like using the word. I think it's overused.
Yeah.
But I think the whole concept of how things are supposed to be is such a fucking lie that
Yeah.
sets us up to like have these weird standards of like perfection when we don't even know what it is, right?
Exactly. And it's like it depends on person to person. And like what I thought for the longest time, up until like last year, I want to say, I thought I wasn't successful because I didn't have a husband and kids. And just because I don't have a husband and kids, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't determine, how successful I'm going to be and all
Yeah.
this stuff. And for the longest time, I felt like I was doing something wrong. And now I feel like I'm finding my footing and I'm getting more established with my business and I'm able to focus and put all my energy into that. And I'm not even thinking about having kids now. So, um,
Surprise. You're a
yeah.
human and you're still a good woman.
Thank you.
You know,
Mm.
I think it's really cool too, like when we start to like deconstruct these like constraints that we put on ourselves. And it's
Yeah.
funny because when we were in college, we took a class with JD and I don't know, was it Beyond Constraints was the book or something?
It
What
was
the hell was that?
something constraints.
You know what I'm talking about
I
though,
know
like
what you're I love that book. I
and
love
it
that
was
book. Can't remember the name of it, but I love
I
it.
hated that fucking book.
A
I hated it.
beautiful constraint or something like that.
Boom, you got it.
Yeah, a beautiful constraint.
But back then I didn't read books. I was high as fuck all the time. Okay, because you know,
Yeah.
you don't get to choose where like crisis happens, and I think where you like dove into school, I loved learning, but I loved interacting with people. Like
I was gonna say, you I feel like you were the popular kid when we were in college together. Like, you were the popular kid, everyone loves you, um, and, like, fucking me and Zach are just, like, on our computers, whatever, whatever, and then, yeah, like, you made friends with everybody, and you're so genuine, so
Zach put it in a great way. He said, "You are an aggressively friendly person. Like
yes,
you just
absolutely.
there's no
That's
escaping
why that's why
talking."
you're a realtor now, so
Yeah.
it's perfect for you.
And I didn't know that. I just kind of stumbled into that. So,
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
excited for
always tell Kemper to keep him humble that I didn't like him at first. And
that.
took a
Emily,
long time. Took a
Was I
long
obnoxious
fucking
at first?
time.
You were obnoxious, but then to know you is to love you. So
Well,
it's,
you know,
but it's not like in a, I didn't have anything bad to say about you. I was just like, all right, that guy is just him. That's
I
him.
was not made for a class. Like, to me, when you put me in a classroom, it was like a wild animal amongst pets in the zoo, you
Yeah.
know? Because everyone was trying to like learn, and that was not where I was at. Like,
Yeah.
I'm down for the learning, but I'm with the fuck around method, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think the only thing that turned that around, and I'm gonna pivot this all back to you in just a second because I
No
really
worries.
don't want this to be about me, but I'm digging the reunion vibe right now.
Yeah.
I don't think people started appreciating me until A, I proved my intelligence, and B, how I improved my intelligence or like proved it was not just by presentations, but by asking questions. Because so many people wouldn't ask
Absolutely.
questions. And
I
then,
agree with that. You were always asking questions. So yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you were the first person that was like, thank you for fucking saying something. And I thought I was just annoying people and just selfishly like, no, you
No.
have to go back and explain that shit. Um, But I say all of this because where I kind of used comedy as therapy early,
Mhm.
I think it was really cool. And that was what made me come out to one of your earlier shows while you were doing like improv or just open mic stuff,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
is you were always fucking hilarious in class. And
Thank you.
when you got up
Yeah.
on stage, I couldn't like think that you would go and just be amongst strangers and not see like a familiar face just to be like, I have to see this. I got to see what
Yeah.
you do if someone just puts the spotlight on you.
For
Um,
sure. Yeah.
and I think tech kids, you know, like I think you were kind of doing that in your own way, like through videos,
Oh
and
yeah, for sure.
it laid a perfect foundation for like where you are, and I'm curious how that journey's going.
Oh man, it's crazy. Like I feel it's funny when I was in high school. Do you guys ever do like career cruising where you like take a quiz and then it tells you like what jobs are good for you? Have you ever done that
No.
in high school?
I wish I
So
did.
it was
Me
called
too.
it was called career cruising, and you would answer like 100 questions, and then at the end of it, it would populate like different jobs from like 1 to 100, and it would tell you like what would be the most fitting job. And the one for me that popped up was comedian. That was the number one. I still have the screenshot from high school,
Oh
and I was
shit.
like, "That's crazy." And then like below it was like TV and film, photographer, dancer, like all these like things that kind of fall under what I do. I'm not a dancer, um, but um, but that was super cool to kind of see that. Uh, and then in high school, I was nominated most likely to host SNL, and I was like, that's an interesting superlative. Like, I'll take that. And so, and then in college, I was always making like funny videos,
Mhm.
whether that was like for class or like in my personal time or whatever. And I feel the thing I want to say about this is I feel so dumb for waiting until now to pursue stand-up comedy because I feel like if I started earlier or if I would have just known because I didn't think I didn't think, oh, I should go do this, but then you were there that night, and that was around the time when I like first started actually doing it. And then I still feel like I'm kind of like in the stages of like trying to take it seriously. It's been 2 years now since the first open mic, and I just feel dumb that I didn't start sooner because it's totally my thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think, man, I want to touch on a couple things with that. And
Yeah.
Zach, by all means, as you know, tell me to shut up and just chime in when.
Hey bro, I'm just
But
listening. All good,
Zach's
bro.
just your puppet. it. You shove your hand up his ass and you just, I don't know.
Well, no one likes to talk about what we do in our spare time. But-
Hey. Shh.
So
It's a
no, like
secret, damn it.
legit. Self-image is such a huge thing, and it's like in your heart, like on a certain level, like when you talk your shit to yourself, you're like, I'm better than that person at that. Like when it's your thing, you're like, no, I fucking kill it. I know they suck and they don't even realize it, and it's just
Yeah.
because your mind works in that realm, in that
Yeah.
space better. But finding your voice, especially in comedy,
Mhm.
because comedy's about shock factor, right?
Yeah.
So how do I be me in a way that's like honestly a little bit painful, like, and not painful, but it makes you blush, right?
Yeah.
You got to go to that like dark place and just put a
Mhm.
spotlight on it from a perspective where it's like actually funny and
Exactly. Yeah.
in real time in front of
Yeah.
people. There's nothing like that, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
other than maybe this, but
Yeah.
I think it's two different levels, you know?
Yeah, definitely. There's like the comedians that have their script that they go off of and they're set, they're tight 20 or however long their set is. And then there's comedians that are just amazing riffers that can riff off of the audience and make it like a very like personable time, like performance. So I'm always impressed because I've tried to do crowd work sometimes. Sometimes it goes okay. Other times I'm just like, what am I doing? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, you can always find someone in the crowd, and like that's the one thing about comedy. Anyone can get it. Like you can
yeah,
be ruthless. Like, and
yeah.
I feel like the more honest you are, the funnier it is.
Oh,
And
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, it's a strange kind of sacrifice, and
Yeah.
I think it's a hurt people's sport.
Oh,
True.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
I haven't met a single comedian that's like a normal person. And I feel like that's part of why I've always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And when I saw you do that, like that was so inspiring to me. I was like,
Aw, I'm
fuck
glad.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
because it takes a lot to overcome anxiousness and shyness.
The way that I describe it is like taking an ice bath. Like
Mm.
that's how I feel when I go up there. It's just like, oh God, I gotta do this thing. It's only 5 minutes. I can do 5 minutes. So yeah, it's like stakes are low usually though. So
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah.
And you need
Yeah.
the ability to fail. Like fail.
Hmm.
So who are some of your
I
favorite comedians?
Some of my favorite comedians, is kind of like dated, but I love Dimitri Martin. I just love he's so different. He's so different. Um, he's super nice too.
You met him?
And I did. When I was a senior in high school, I went to Powell's Books and he signed my book for me that he wrote. So yeah, he's really cool. Um and then Taylor Tomlinson is killing it right now. I don't know if you guys know who
I,
she is.
you're gonna have to put me on game.
Oh man, she is like on another level. She's been doing stand up for a long time. But she just got her own show, her own late night show on NBC, I think it is. But it's called After Midnight with Taylor Tomlinson, and she's just everything that I wish I could be. Like if I could be anyone, it'd be her. Like she's amazing. Yeah. She's like very pretty, very funny. She takes care of herself and she knows what the fuck she's doing. So yeah.
So I have a question now.
Yes. Oh
All right.
God.
I always have a question. Um, so what style of comedy do you like wish you can do that you have not mastered yet? like, are you do you have appreciation for like the storytelling comedy or more like physical comedy? Like,
I am more drawn to physical comedy. Jim Carrey is like my number one. I don't know if I've talked about that when we were younger, but um I've always loved Jim Carrey and like the things he does, the faces he makes, the way his body moves. I'm just like, how do you do that? And with the Portland comedy scene, um there's I don't know, it's like different people with different like styles of humor, and it's like kind of clicky in that way. And so I feel like I'm more drawn to like the queer crowd, the crowd that's like very loud, very like just sassy and they're just so funny. They always make me laugh, like, every time I'm at a show, and it's like, they do the physical stuff, and I'm just, like, on the ground laughing, like, it's so good. I
Mhm.
wish I was better at doing, like, crazy stuff on stage, but a lot of the stuff I say are, like, one-liners and stuff like that, and a little bit of storytelling, but I wish that I was like Jim Carrey.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that's a great answer. And
yeah.
I definitely didn't expect you to lead off with the Dimitri Martin shit because I forgot about Dimitri Martin
Yeah,
completely.
he's like, yeah, I don't know what he's doing now. Like, where? I hope he's okay.
Yeah, he's hiding from behind the curtain like he
Yeah,
always.
yeah, yeah.
But you know, it's interesting that you touch on like kind of the like queer comedy scene, if we could call
Mhm.
it that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because truly in Portland, they're just very different, and like just as people, they're different fucking people, and so
yeah.
uh, I think the people that get up on stage to really be self-deprecating and like honest about how fucking weird shit kind of is, I
Yeah,
feel like they're discovering themselves in front of people and
yeah,
also deeply know who they are and that they just don't fit a normal narrative,
for sure.
you know? And all right, taking it back to college, I'm about to drop some shit on y'all.
Yeah.
Lydia fucking Yuknovich. Do you guys remember Lydia? She taught at Mount Hood Community College for like a short while.
I don't think I remember her.
I don't
Okay.
either. I don't think so.
She is a Northwest fucking gem. And if you ever want to just blow the doors off of your mind of understanding women or like feminism or just I don't know, just character development of any kind of like story or scenario, she is
Mhm.
the shit and has the greatest biography I've ever read. Her autobiography, The Chronology of
Okay.
Water,
Damn.
it's like my favorite book. It's on a different level of storytelling where she kind of, and us being film people, you can dig this, she took her like autobiography and tells it completely non-linear. Like she mixes up all these different time periods in
Oh,
her life,
wow.
and the whole story is about, it's a metaphor about swimming and drowning and rebirth after just trying to tread water and going under and it's all about rediscovery because she was a swimmer when she was young, and like how the pool and water was like freedom, and it's, we're born in water, and learning to swim is this like violent weird process that's fluid. And yeah, that's about all I can say as a
Mm,
teaser, but if it's got your mouth watering, wait till you read it. Like fucking amazing.
that book sounds really familiar. I'm gonna have to Google her because I feel like I might know her.
Well, listen to her TED Talk. She has a TED Talk because she wrote this book called The Misfits Manifesto, and it is phenomenal. Um,
Okay.
and she talks really about like words and how we define ourselves
Mhm.
and the power of being a misfit. And one of the things she says in that speech is basically that like misfits and people that are on like the edge are actually what hold the shape and make the shape so that way people in the middle can be this weird blob of conformity, you
That
know?
makes so much sense.
And just the way that she expresses it, I can't help but look at comedy that way. As like,
Mhm.
here's these people that absolutely like can't figure out where they necessarily fit. They just know that they are what they
Yeah,
are, and they're
yeah,
swinging for the fucking fences at whatever they think gives them a little bit of joy, and they
for
just hope
sure.
they hear it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So I'm gonna expose myself on a piece of comedy, my stand-up comedy career, and actually why I cut it short. And this was way before LGBTQ stuff went
Yeah.
bananas. Okay. Because it's
Yeah.
bananas. I will say that. There's a lot of shit. I can't get behind the whole thing, but I get behind,
Mhm.
like the
Yeah.
poster, I'm like, chill out a little bit. But the people, I'm
Yeah.
like, I fucking rock with you. I haven't met a gay person that I haven't liked. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So, anyways, I'm going to this comedy open house and I'm really tense. I'm super nervous. I'm clearly the youngest dude there. I'm like, I might have been, I just turned 21 is what it was.
Oh my
Just
god.
21, okay. And I was like, I always wanted to be a comedian. And so I go to this stand up just like a random Wednesday night. And the comedian before me turned the mic off. And I didn't know this, right? So he gets up, I get up on stage and he hands me the mic and there's no volume.
Oh
Okay.
my god. What a nightmare.
And I can't figure it out. So I'm just going to say this really fucking loud so everyone can hear me. Okay. So off the rip, tonality is out the window, right?
Oh
This is
my
just
god.
extremely loud. And everyone in there was kind of cool about it. Like they weren't being like dickheads, but the room air was just thick.
Yeah.
And I start telling this story about how that week I went to the chiropractor with my mom because I was scheduled for a massage and they had the most awesome lady that worked there, right? And I show up and the lady's gone. And they're like, yeah, we got a sub for her today. And they were like, it's Scott. And this dude comes walking out of the back, this big hairy like looked like he'd been following the fucking Grateful Dead since the dawn of
Oh my
time.
Oh
god.
fuck.
Dude, with just this like waistband like Batman just full of lubes and shit.
Oh
And he's
shit.
like,
Oh
come
my
on, little
god.
brother.
Come on,
And
brother.
come on, little brother. And like he's just rubbing his hands like this. And I'm like, so I have the worst fucking it's stupid homophobia at this time, right? And my mom comes up to me and she goes, what? Are you gay? And just goes to walk
Oh
into
my
this is
god.
all in front of like everyone, right? And there was this really pretty receptionist. I'm like, okay, fuck all that. Let's go. I'm your dude, right? So
Yeah.
I'm back in the back. I'm like, all right, whatever. Give me this rub down, right? Dude's rubbing me down, and I was like, look, only thing, I don't need you touching my ass, bro. Okay, you can do whatever you want, but and dude, he's rubbing me down. I'm like super relaxed. I'm about to fall asleep, and his thumbs just into my ass, and I was like, no! And I like jump off the table, right? And I'm
Oh my
telling this
god.
story, right, about how my mom, Italian moms, have this mental judo of like how they will for sure mind fuck you into shit, you know? And
Mhm.
so I'm telling this story to basically like make fun of myself, right?
Yeah.
About how outlandish it is.
Yeah.
But as I'm telling it and I'm screaming it, I look out in the crowd and there was a transvestite, the biggest woman you've ever seen, clearly a dude, and they stood up and they left the show. And I felt so fucking bad, like so bad that I ruined this person's time
Self-esteem, yeah.
that it killed my desire to do it out of fear for a long, long time. And so like I've tiptoed around it and I've always wanted to do it. And that's why I have so much admiration, truly, for like the Portland comedy scene as a whole and how welcoming it is for anyone's experience. Because
Yeah,
it's like it's equal opportunity for a straight dude
yeah,
to tell a goofy ass story or a gay person tell a goofy ass story because we're all human,
yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And seeing that show that you did really opened my eyes to it, even though I haven't gotten out there again.
Yeah.
But that was my fucking comedy nightmare on day one. And I was like, all right, I'm pulling the plug
It's
early.
I know, but that's the thing. I learned this. It's like you're gonna bomb and nobody's gonna give a shit about it if you bomb. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Nobody is like talking about you behind your back, talking about how you bombed or whatever. And that was like my biggest fear. I bombed really hard at an open mic and I never went back to it because I was just so embarrassed. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
not good.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. It was less about me bombing because I feel like I've bombed in all areas of life. Like I feel like
Haven't we all?
when I fuck up, it's always like center stage. And I'm like, gosh damn it. I told
Yeah.
this story to Zach, and I was like, when I was in high school, I definitely fell down the bleachers like at a basketball game or like
Oh
assembly,
my god.
and I was late, and I thought I was like all cool walking in because I was stoned. I got my Tupac shirt, fuck the world, and then I
Oh
just
my god.
absolutely ate shit down the bleachers, and I was like,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
I was like, that's what I
Smooth.
fucking get. But anyways, I digress.
Anyway,
You know,
I digress.
so Zach told me some pretty cool stuff about you getting invited to an event of sorts. Is this true?
What event? What is this?
I don't know. Zach's gonna have to
Uh,
describe what he saw.
no, I seen it on Facebook. I don't know when you posted it, but someone invited you to do a comedy show, and
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Well, okay. So that story, that thing I posted, was a it happened, but it didn't happen recently.
Oh.
But I do have a show. It just um someone reached out to me to do a show and it inspired me to write that status. It happened a while ago, but the conversation I had with the producer inspired that Facebook post. So it
Okay.
didn't go like that exactly, but
Okay.
it could have. So, and for people who are watching this that don't know what I'm talking about, I posted a Facebook status that said, producer, hey, Emily, I want to see if you're available for my comedy show. And then I say, yes, I can shoot it for you. And then they say, no, I want you to be on it and like perform. And then I put a bunch of butterflies, like my stomach, butterflies everywhere. So
Hmm.
yeah.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, it's super cool. I had my first show where I was on the other side of the camera. So I tipped the photographer. Hopefully it all goes well, but I'm excited for those photos cuz I've only been photographed once and that was at an open mic forever ago and that's now my profile picture on Instagram. So
Yeah.
Right on.
I love that photo. My friend Juan Duran, shout out. I love him. He was the very first friend that I made in comedy. I followed him on Instagram and then he followed me and then we were just friends ever since. And yeah, it was really cool. And he was a little bit of photographer himself. And so we, made friends that way. So
Shout out to
yeah.
Juan. Well, I hope he wasn't my neighbor because I have a crazy ass story about a man named Juan. Okay.
Oh
Oh, fuck.
God.
I've been saving this fucking story too because it's so outlandish. So I was like halfway asleep. It was like 3 in the morning, and I just hear this van pull up and just a door fly open, right?
Oh my
And
god.
I don't live in a good neighborhood, as you will tell as the story goes further. So I roll over in my bed and I look from behind the like little fucking blinds, and a dude with an AR-15, full army gear, is pointing an AR-15 right at me from the street.
What
I'm
the
like,
hell?
what the fuck? There's another truck, and literally a like concussion grenade goes off. I'm on the second story of my house, and it's like right below me. So I watch this flashbang, boom, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
I don't
Are
know
you
what's happening.
traumatized? I would have been
So
traumatized.
I instantly, and this is like, I don't know what time it is, but like this is like right about the time that like fucking my brother gets up and goes to school and stuff, and they're like pointed at the front of the house, all surrounded the house. I'm like, I know he's a Republican, but what the fuck, you know? And so I think we're getting raided or some shit. I'm like, what? So I run over to his room. I'm like, dude, I'm like, are you all good? And he's like, what? And just
Oh
boom,
my
boom.
god.
There's all these grenades going off. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And
Jesus.
so I lean my head just kind of sort of like towards the front of the house because I'm in a strip of
Mhm.
townhomes, right? And right across, like as soon as you open my front door, there's this huge parking lot, right? And it on the other side is like most ghetto Asian bar you've ever fucking seen. I've seen so many crazy ass fights and brawls and shootouts in this place. It's ridiculous, right?
Oh my god.
But more like there's like 40 cops and they're all like aimed up at us. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be that. I'm not aiming my head out the window like a fucking dum dum, right? Um, 'Cause all I need is the one nervous cop looking at me, and they're all looking at me. I'm like, oh fuck that, And it's like
Yeah.
RoboCop, right? They pull up
Oh my
this fucking
god.
loudspeaker, and they're like, "Resident 4813 some, come out. This is the FBI. We have you
Holy
surrounded."
shit.
The FBI was fucking raiding my neighbor's house, and they legit like I like ran back to the other side of the house because I'm hearing explosions going off like all over the place.
That's insane.
Yeah, I looked out the back window and like three more flashbangs went off. I'm all fucking
Oh my
retarded.
god.
Holy shit.
So I was like, bro, we're getting on our stomachs and just laying down because I don't know what's
Yeah.
happening. If there's gonna be like a shootout. That dude, Juan's a bad mamma jamma. Okay, so that's all I know. And I walked out concussed as a motherfucker, like just
Oh my
disoriented as shit. I
god.
can't imagine standing next to one of those damn things. But like, I walked up to this huddle of people, like such a like zombie. They're all dressed kind of normal, and there's like one dude dressed like a cop.
Mhm.
So I just kind of stumbled up and I was like, what the fuck was with that? And like they all turn around
Oh my
and they're
god.
actual FBI agents, right? Dressed in like plain clothes, and they turn around like, yeah, like that's what we
That's
do.
oh my god.
So I've experienced an FBI raid by proxy just because I live in a ghetto ass strip of
By
God damn.
That's insane.
I've
Does
been waiting.
that just like proves to me that Portland is just a GTA server. It's
Oh
not.
yeah. God
It's like
damn. That's a good way to explain it.
yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. But
Yeah.
I've had that up my sleeve for a while, and I didn't know when I was going to tell it. So
Yeah,
long story
bro.
short,
The
let's
fuck?
I've
double this
been
back
waiting my whole life to tell this story.
about a man named Juan.
Yeah. That's crazy. Oh my god.
But does Juan still go to shows with you to this day?
He and I don't hang out as much because it's mainly on me because I'm not going out as often. But he hosts an open mic that I love. It's like the best open mic in town, in my opinion. But he does that and
Well,
he
where's
does
it at?
shows. Underbar in Vancouver, downtown
Where I
Vancouver.
saw you. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that place rocks. Like I love that place.
The vibe
But
is
yeah.
really cool. Like
Oh
when
my
I went,
god, immaculate.
yeah, the ceilings are all fucking crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it'd be cool because that was like that bar was really like I made a lot of memories because of comedy and like they have like the cool ceiling tiles and like I always thought it'd be cool to like get part of that like tattooed on me or something or like one of the ceiling tiles or something like that would be cool. But I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, way
Yeah.
cool. Well, do you have anything kind of cooking in the works?
Let's see. Do I have anything cooking? No, I'm just I'm just trying to get better at photography and I recently rebranded to Ulsh Creative. It used to be Emily Ulsh Photo and Video, but now it's Ulsh Creative and hopefully in the next few years I'll be able to contract out different creatives
Mhm.
and so I can hire them out for people and that's kind of my 5-year plan is to do something like that, have a team of people. So that's kind of where I'm headed. I stopped offering wedding videos because it just is not fun for me. So it's just high stress situation that I'd rather take photos at a wedding rather than do video. But for this last wedding I did, I hired out videographers and I am editing that video, but that is my last one. So
You are an incredible army of one, and I respect,
thank you.
you know,
I
um,
appreciate that.
especially because I know that whatever comes out of Ulsh Creative will be something that's like from the top down, facilitated with like true love for whatever is being made.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Um,
And the biggest thing is like community. That's like my biggest thing for me is yeah, you can take a kick-ass photo, but like are you cool? Are you are you kind? Are you, all these things. And that's like the main thing for me. So a lot of my rebranding I've hired out my friends to do for me because A, I want to support them and B, they're cool. C, they do amazing work. So, and
that,
yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. That's like Happy Madison Productions right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the dream. That's what I wanna
Yeah.
do.
Do you think you're ever going to get back into screenwriting?
Absolutely. Yeah, I like the one of my most favorite memories in college was doing our thesis films and showing them to everyone in class and like doing it in the theater and like that like I want to do that again. Like make a short film, write, direct, star in it maybe, and like because Blakesley, I told Blakesley I wanted to be the star in my film, and she said I couldn't do that. Blakesley's a professor, but yeah, she was like, you can't do that, and I was like, fuck, okay, so um, yeah, next time I make a short film, I'm gonna be in it because I want to.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
hell yeah.
Zach, do you got
Yeah.
anything? Zach's
Zach.
zone right now.
No, I mean, you guys are the talkers here. I'm just listening. So
He's just the mediator. He's the
yes.
therapist, and we're the couple that's fighting.
Yeah, exactly. How does that make you
Yeah.
feel?
Yeah. I
Right?
go lay down on a couch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%. Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining us. This is awesome, and we will surely keep track of you in the future as you
Thank
do.
you.
Feel free to come back to promote it.
Oh, thank you so much. This was so fun. Thank you for asking me to do it. I was super excited when you asked me. So thank you.
Yeah.
It's been an honor on both sides of this camera, and for everybody that don't know, now you know. Peace.
Peace.
You are gonna see some cool ass shit.
Yeah, you don't want two flavor flaves.
Heart transplants, brain surgeries. I've seen it all.
Dude, that's fucking dope.
Walk up and just get it, whatever it is.
Yeah, brother.
I'm trying not to laugh, bro, but Josh is fucking killing me.
Guess what Navy SEALs do, motherfucker? They communicate and they're on the same fucking page.
Whoa.